The definition of game of two halves. Welcome to Nick's COYS Corner. Before we start, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel and click the bell to receive notifications. Well, a much needed point from what looked like a certain defeat. A terrible first half followed up by a much improved second half performance. A Xavi Simons masterclass proving that he can do it not just in the Premier League, but against the very best teams in the Premier League. Well, so many injuries, this is just ridiculous now. Danso and Spence added to the casualty list. Odegaard rumoured to be injured and only fit enough to make the bench. Just the last 2 or 3 years now, it's just a crazy injury list every season, and I've just never known anything like it. I just really hope this stops soon and we can actually get back to having a fit squad for the majority of the season, because it's just unbearable every week having someone else drop out, and it never seems to be a short-term injury. It's always, longer-term injury. It's crazy. Like Danso hyperextending his big toe, he's done his ligament and he could be out for up to 6 months. It's crazy. I didn't want to play a back five. I've mentioned before I don't think a back five works sustainably. But I felt Frank would probably do it, and do it he did. The first half was really poor, really passive. The back five, as I said, just didn't work at all. We failed to get numbers forward. We couldn't get control of the match. And this is the issue I have with this formation, is you just don't manage to get control of games sustainably. It's one thing doing it against poorer sides like Burnley, and Frankfurt were pretty poor the other night. But it just doesn't work consistently, it's particularly against better sides. You just can't get enough control in matches. You lack numbers higher up the pitch. So the switch to a back four second half, which I'll come on to, was no surprise, and it worked much better for us. City controlled that first half, and the first goal was inevitable, really. Really poor play from Bissouma. Sluggish and sloppy on the ball, but to be fair to him, he also didn't have many options aside from maybe a switch pass out to the left flank with a doggy. But as with most of our midfielders, they don't seem to have that much passing range and ability to switch play like that. So really poor from him, and then poor from Dragusin. Didn't get close enough to Cherki, allowed him too much room to get the shot away, and I thought really poor goalkeeping from Vicario as well. Slightly too far across his goal to start with, and then just beaten way too easily by a shot that wasn't particularly powerful and wasn't even that far away from him as well. So really poor from him. There was a real lack of belief and intensity about our play in that first half. We just never looked like we really believed we could get a result or hurt Manchester City. City's second goal was really poor again from us. Dragusin with an awful clearance on his left foot straight back to City, and then both Gallagher and Bissouma caught ball watching, allowing runners off their shoulder, and Romero ended up with a 3-on-1 against him in the box, and Semenyo tucks it in with a good finish. And just really poor defending from us, really poor awareness as well when we lost the ball, and just summed up how bad we were in that first half. Second half was a lot better. A blow losing our captain, but Sarr coming on for him actually helped us. The change in shape to a back four, despite the makeshift nature of the defence, helped us massively, and having that extra number going forward and in midfield made a huge difference to us and the intensity we were able to play with in that second half. It was kind of a 4-4-2 out of possession, and Xavi playing from the left, Sarr was kind of playing from the right. And later on in the game, I'll touch upon it with Odegaard and Tel coming on, it remained a similar kind of shape. There was just so much more energy about us, more intensity, more willingness to get at Man City and actually, have a go and try and hurt them, because they are vulnerable at the back when you get at them, this City side. They're not like the older City teams that we remember from yesteryear. This team can be got at, and we proved it. The first goal came from a lovely Xavi Simons outside the boot pass to Solanke. Really nice link up between the two of them. Solanke doing really well to hold off his defender and then get the ball home. I saw a lot of talk about Solanke fouling Gay, but actually if you watch it back, Gay actually catches Solanke's ankle, standing foot first, before Solanke catches him. And I think that's probably one of the reasons VAR didn't give a foul. So back in the game, and Xavi was proven to be a maestro, dictating the game for us. He was buzzing around, constantly looking to hurt Manchester City, and tenacious as well. He didn't stop working, and even in the first half, he was one of our better performers. I love the fact that he shows so much character and energy about his game to go along with his quality. And I think people are starting to see now what a fantastic player he is and can be in the future. He's got so much quality about him, and he doesn't let the rough and tumble of the Premier League put him off. If anything, he's kind of gone away and worked even harder to deal with it and adapt to it. I thought Paulinho was very good second half. He won a lot of duels. He helped win back momentum for us and get us going forward. And I actually think, people know I'm not a massive fan of him as a midfielder, but as a centre-back, I actually think he's better because he's facing the play and he hasn't got to do what he's weak at, which is receive the ball on the half-turn under pressure and in tight spaces. And he can just focus on doing what he's good at, which is anticipating play and smashing into people and winning tackles to turn the ball over. And I think he does that well. So as an emergency centre-back and cover centre-back, I actually think he's a better option than a midfielder, funny enough. Thought Gallagher also did much better in the second half. First half was pretty poor and he hasn't been great for us, I don't think, since he signed. But the second half was probably the best he's played. A lot more energy about his play, a lot more intelligence about the way he pressed, and he really kind of worked hard to get us back in that match and drive us forward. And this was typified with the second goal we scored, the equaliser, where he worked really well to win the ball back against the odds. He shouldn't really have got the ball, but he made it his. I thought Archie Gray was really good too, playing out of position again, but doing another admirable job. And he was one of the players I felt that really kind of sparked us back into life. There was a really nice piece of play down the right-hand side, ended up coming inside and switching play brilliantly on his weaker foot. And he just showed real kind of tenacity and composure about his play throughout the game. And I just think he's such a great young player. The introduction of Odegaard and Tell for Basuma and Moani also gave us fresh energy and really helped us, I felt. And Odegaard carried on where we left off recently, looking a threat, looking like he's got a bit more belief in himself. I hope he carries this on because I think both Odegaard and Tell have a lot of ability, and if it can be harnessed and if they can be developed, we could be looking at two really good players. And then we got to witness yet another Puskas Award winner, surely. Fantastic play from Gallagher, as I mentioned, to win the ball back, drive down the right-hand side. His cross was behind Solanke, but then Solanke just pulled off the most insane finish you're ever going to see with that back heel scorpion kick. Oh my days, that was crazy, and I went mental when he scored that. We then came close to a third goal, twice in quick succession. Odegaard denied, and then with a close range shot, and then Xavi denied, both by Donnarumma. Very good saves from him, and we were so close to taking the lead. We're so much better as a team when we swarm the opposition. We play on the front foot. We increase the tempo of the match. And then despite any kind of limitations we may have in terms of a ball progressor, like just having that energy, having that kind of mobility and desire to attack opponents, just that as a foundation gives you so much more as a team. And that has to be the default setting for us in every match. Doesn't matter who we play, we need to attack them and go at them, go on the front foot, swarm opponents when we lose the ball. That should be what we are as a default. And then everything else, all the nuance around it can be built. But that has to be what we are. Overall, a weird game. Like I said, terrible first half, much better second half, and we could easily have won it. City had a couple of chances as well they might have taken to win the game, but from the position we were in, we looked dead and buried, and to come back to a point where we could have maybe won it, well played, Spurs. 1 point's much better than nothing, especially at the moment with how we've been and with the run we've got coming up. A point against City isn't the worst thing. After the positive result and performance against Frankfurt, really good to get another positive feeling coming out of that game. It could have been so much different if it had ended like it did first half, but the second half, the crowd were up, they applauded the players and the manager, and there was a much better feeling around the group. We really need players back from injury, and we really need to try and do something in the remaining hours of the transfer window. As I speak, it doesn't look like anything's happening. You never know, it can change quickly, but I would be extremely disappointed if we don't bring in anyone else. I mean, we'd basically have had hardly any net spend, and we really need to strengthen the team. West United away up next to the league. That is going to be a tough game. They are well and truly flying under Michael Carrick, and so this is going to be a real tough test for us. Let me know what you thought about the Man City match. Can you believe the difference between the two halves? Who did you think was the player of the match? How impressed are you with Xavi Simons' performances recently? And what did you make of that Dominic Solanke finish? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, click the bell to receive notifications. And as always, come on you Spurs!